Hi all. Uh, Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. So today we have this second class. 20th May was the demo. So actually the class will started from 21st May. Okay, so today is 27th May. So quickly I will give you a recap of what we have discussed. Hope my voice is audible and screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, Tanvi.
The moment you think the voice is not audible or any other issue, let me know. Fine. Let's see this. Let me show you. Yeah, so we were discussing about this is one which yeah, thank you. So we're discussing about we started from the very basics, okay? And those who are very new to Python or any programming language, okay? So at the first instance, few of the things will appear to you as a Latin and Greek, okay? You might be thinking that okay, this is fine that this Python can do, but why should I go for this? Okay, it's not like SQL, like directly I will run the query and I can show you that oh, this is how the from is working, this is how the where clause is working, right? So there, if you remember, like what I used to do, I will write a query and then I will show you the output and you'll get a better visualization and you can feel it that oh yes, this keyword is performing this task. Okay, but here I need at least one more week. Okay, and then slowly you will feel the concept that oh, this concept which Tanveer has taught, this is the use case. Okay, in the project I can use this at that instance. Okay, so why I'm telling all this story? So in the beginning, maybe the things will sound little bit weird. So let's not think toward the application that oh, what will be the application in the real world project or the project in which we'll be working. Okay, so just give me 1 week more time, and then you will start feeling it. Okay, hope that is fine. So last class we have discussed about the basics of print. That is very simple. Print is used to print something. Okay, and I think we have shared yes. So we have
Tan-
shared this.
Tanvi, sorry to interrupt. Can
Mhm.
you please little bit zoom in? It is like it is very small.
um, how it is now?
Yeah, it is now fine. Thank you.
Better now?
It is good enough.
Yes, it is good, Tanvi.
Thanks for highlighting that. So in the previous class, we have discussed about the print function, and sorry, I'm repeating it. Uh, you have to have a very you have to have a patience level which is like a mountain for my course. Okay, because I cannot directly go to the looping statements or the control statements. Maybe few of you will be thinking that oh, let's start with that for loop, while, and all those things, right? But before that, I have to tell this basics. So again, I'm repeating that. Let's have some patience. We'll go step by step, but you will enjoy this, okay? And the combination of SQL and Python will open doors for a lot of job opportunities which you cannot imagine now. Trust me. This too, okay, they can open a lot of job opportunities. Nowadays, like AI is the buzzword, right? So I was going through few of the computational model that how they prepare that machine learning algorithm, and I was surprised that most of them they need this Python, SQL, and the basic of mathematics like a statistics, probability, and all this. And that is very interesting. So concentrate on this, try to understand each and everything, the nut and bolt of the system, and you'll be rocking. That's what I can tell. Okay. So we have discussed about the print function. So print function is very simple. It will just print whatever you will tell. I'm just quickly revising the things, the concepts which we have discussed in the previous class. So I have shown here that I will like print high and then it will print high. So this is very simple. The one thing is you have to be very careful with the case of the reserved keywords. That was not the scenario in SQL, right? In SQL, if you remember that the select from where this reserved keywords, you can write in whatever case you want, right? Select, you can write in uppercase, you can write in lowercase, you can write in proper case. That's not an issue, okay? It will run. But that's not the case with Python. In Python, you have to be very careful with the case of even the keywords. I'm not talking about data. In SQL, the SQL is case sensitive with data only, right? But this is not the case here. You have to be very careful with the case of this reserved keywords. Like you can see this print, all is in lowercase, right? If the same thing, if I will write like this, be in uppercase, do you think this will work?
No.
So let's try this. I have written P in uppercase here. Okay, let me delete this one. I'm running this. See, it has thrown error message, right? So engine is not able to find that. What is this capital uppercase P? So you have to be very careful with the case. Hope that is clear. Okay. And then apart from this, we have, I started with the variables. What is variable? And I told like variable is like a carryback where you can store something, right? And I have shown you that here the variable is A. In this variable A, I'm storing A. And then I'm telling engine to print A. So engine will print this. Similarly, I have another variable B, which is holding the value 2.5. So from this, I want to explain that, oh, in a variable, you can store integer, you can store decimal values. And here you can see I can store alphabets, ABCD. Intentionally, I'm not using those technical stuffs like floating point, string. Intentionally, I'm not using those things now. But we'll discuss about all those technical stuffs after some time, okay? So far, I'm just explaining that you can have a variable in that you can store value and then you can display that using this print command, okay? And then here I have explained that you can have two variables and then in the third variable, you can perform some mathematical calculations, okay? Here again, I'm not teaching you what all mathematical calculations your Python can do. I'm just telling you that you can reroute the calculations of two variables in a third variable. You can see like here in variable A, I have 5, in variable B, I have 2. Now in variable C, I'm routing the summation of A and B. So this as well you can do in a variable, and finally I'm printing that variable in the output. Okay. Then similarly, I'm showing that you can do the subtraction using two variables, and you can store a value in a third variables. Okay. Here, what I'm trying to explain, suppose in a variable X, I have the value 45. And again, I'm assigning value 55 to the same variable X. Then there is a concept of overrides. Okay. It means that X will now take the latest value. Okay. It will take the latest value. So if I print X, it will show you 55, not 45. Okay. Then I have shown you here with some alphabets like Yusuf, and it has displayed that. Then you can, means here I'm showing you that the variable can be any set of characters. Like here I have shown you the variables are like A, B, C, like characters only. Here I'm using name as a variable. Here age is a variable. So you can create a variable with anything as per your wish. Okay. There are a few restrictions on that. Like variables cannot start with number. I think I have shown you that. Okay, I think that's an Excel sheet. Okay, maybe I have shown, but that we have not written here. So variables should not start with numbers. Variables should not start with any special character, but you can keep number at the end or in between somewhere. You can start a variable with underscore, that is allowed. You can keep a variable underscore in between. But do you think a space is allowed in between?
No, sir.
No, Tanvir.
All right. Suppose if I will write my name equals Tanveer. And if I will tell engine that, oh, print my name. So do you think this will work?
No, it will not work.
No.
Let's check this. Invalid syntax. Okay, sorry. Because a space is not allowed in a variable. Very important. And I think this is not new. Even in SQL, if you are creating a table and you have a column name with the spaces, that is not allowed. But the same thing. Okay. Now, then your variable can be any big name, and then this is a complex number, 3 plus 4j. I think you all have studied complex number in your 10th or 12th standard. So that is what even you can store complex numbers and you can display that. This part was very interesting. So we are discussing here about the input keyword. Input keyword means you're asking Python that, oh, Python, takes the value from the user. Okay, and you have a lot of use cases for input. When you are going into the ATM machine, it is asking for your a lot of details. It is asking, right? And you want a savings account, or you want to withdraw money, or what you want to do. Lots of inputs it is asking. So that is the input keyword. It will ask some values from the user. So for that we use input keyword. So what I am trying to do here is I'm telling Python that, oh, Python, please ask the name from the user and store that in the name variable. And here I'm telling Python that, oh, Python, please ask salary from the user and store the value in the salary variable. And finally, I am printing that. So far, is this clear? And this plus slash n is for the new line. Okay. Any question based on this, what we have discussed so far? Is this clear?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Tell me, have you have any question?
Sir, I have one question. Hello.
Yeah, tell me, I can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead.
So whenever you check the syntax, okay, so now it was showing now that there is some syntax error. So
Right.
yeah, so in the program it will highlight, yeah.
There are on the different IDE, the way will be different. IDE is integrated development environment, like where you can code. Okay. So here I am coding this on this IDE. So here it will, when I will execute this, it will show a pop-up window and it will tell that, oh, this is invalid syntax. Okay.
Right.
And if you are working on Jupyter, I have told in the previous class that after 1 or 2 weeks, I will show you on Jupyter because I started with Jupyter. Then I realized that, oh, this is not a good to directly show the Jupyter. Maybe you guys will get confused that what is this? Suddenly a new tool came into picture. So down the line, I will show you all those things on Jupyter. So the way how Jupyter will give you the error message, that will be a little bit different, but that is more in a more elaborate way. It will tell you that what is the error message. So the way, the presentation, how they will show you the error message will be different. But overall, you will understand that, oh, what's the issue. But I will tell you one thing. In all the programming languages on which I have worked so far, never trust on the error message. Okay, sometimes I have seen even in SQL, the error message is different and the reason for that is different. Okay, so you cannot trust on that if it is telling this error message, it means the issue is this only. Hope it is clear.
Yes, sir. You just told me that some SQL word you use, right?
SQL, that is SQL language. I'm telling you, structured query language, right?
It is language. Okay.
You are not. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. You're not there in that SQL group.
No, sir. I'm Ganesh. We spoke.
Okay. Fine.
I'm not from your IT background.
Okay, no issues. Can you please ping me on WhatsApp after the class?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, fine. Thank you. No issues. Good. So if you are getting stuck somewhere, you can ask Ganesh. Okay. No problem.
Yes. Yeah.
Fine. And that's why I told that in the beginning, few of the things will look a little bit weird, but down the line, we will understand all these things. So any other question, guys, before I proceed? I think this is simple. Most of you have understood it. Okay, now let's proceed further. Now, this I have to. Now, one thing I will tell you, maybe it will become a little bit difficult for you to understand, but fine. If I'm writing a equals to 0, if you remember, like when I was teaching you that SQL, and we have a dedicated session on the discussion that what is the difference between 0 blank and null. You guys remember it, right? We have discussed that the 0 blank and so similarly, if I'm writing a equals to 0, so it means the value of a is 0, and I will print this. You can see the engine issuing that yes, the value of a is 0. Okay. Now, if you want to tell that no, Tanvir, this is not clear, so write some message here. The value of a is. Then you can write like this. Okay. So whatever message you want to display, you have to keep it within quotes. Okay. I'm running this again. Oh, it is throwing an error message. Perhaps you forgot a comma. So when you want to display a message along with a variable, a is the variable. So you have to keep a comma here. So you are telling that, oh, this is different thing, and this is a different task. You are telling this to the Python. Okay. So now when you will execute this, check the output. The value of a is 0. Now this is a little bit more user friendly. The user can understand that what is the message here. From this, it was not clear. Okay, hope it is clear.
Yes, Tanvir.
Clear, guys? Okay, fine, good. Now, if you want to comment something in Python, like if you can use this hash, okay, it is for commenting. I will discuss comment in detail at a later point of time. And as a good programmer, it's like a professional way of writing queries. Like you should comment it, means you should tell what you are trying to do. Okay, so that we will discuss. So now suppose if I'm writing here a equals like this, okay, and I'm trying to print this. Value of a. Okay. Now I'm executing. Now see, I have commented this two lines, no? So if you have commented this, so engine will not execute this. Okay. So now I'm executing this. Check the output. The value of a, nothing is displayed nothing is getting displayed here, right? So it means this is a white space, nothing is there. Okay, this is an empty string actually. Nothing you're showing here. So if you remember, I told you about the white space there, right? It means nothing is there. So that is this. You can use this for that. Okay. Now, if you remember, I have taught you about null, right? And in SQL, null is a big headache. We have discussed that, right? So here you have to use NONE, none for that. Okay. So write print a. Check. String null. So null in the Python world is represented as NONE. Null. So hope you understood the 0 and this empty string and this none. Hope it is clear. So far, is this clear, guys? Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Good. Now
Sir,
moving to the.
Sir, if we put a space between the second line, the empty string one, that won't be
This
empty
one?
anymore, right? Yes,
This
sir.
one you're telling? If you
Yes,
will
sir.
put a space here, let me show you this. Just a minute. And this I will prove you when I will teach you the length function. I will prove all those things. Okay. So that's why I told you that here it is difficult to connect all the dot at the same time. But you know that when I was teaching you SQL, we used to connect all the dot at the same time. Here it will take some time. Okay. So now I am executing this. The value of a, here you have a white space that I will prove Wahab after some time, and I will teach you length function. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So fine. Now proceeding further with a new concept, which is not a new concept. It's known as data type. Okay. When I was teaching you SQL, there as well, I have taught you data type like a varchar, and in generally I have taught you varchar and int. Okay, but you have I think character, float, and many other things are there. So similarly, in Python or any other programming language, whether you go for C, Python, Java, anyone, okay, you have a concept of data type. Okay, so do you have any idea what is data type? Anyone?
Numeric text.
Represent what type of data it is.
Present what type of data it is. Okay. Any other thought?
The type of the data which is represented.
Type of the data. Okay, fine. Any other?
Assigning a respective value for the data type which it belongs to.
Okay. Okay. Good. Any other thought? Okay.
The type
Yeah,
of
Rakesh.
values that can be stored and can be changed in the
Type
form
of
of variable.
values which can be stored and can be changed. Can be changed. It's fine. That is applicable in okay, fine. That's fine. It's okay. Now let's try to understand what is a data type, and it has a very significant role in the entire Python world. Whether you are learning the libraries or any other thing, it's very important. And many a times when you are doing some means if you're working on pandas library, okay, what is panda, what is library, we'll discuss after some time. Don't think about that. So during those scenarios, you will find that, oh, data type is very important to understand. Many times I have seen the students, they will not focus much on data type. They will start coding directly. And then when their code will throw error message because of data type incompatibility, then they will not be able to understand that what the error message is. Okay. So that's why it's very important to understand what is data type. Okay. Before I will tell you what is data type, let's have a discussion that why data type, why we need data type. Okay, fine. Suppose I have given a party. So in that party, I have to understand my guest means how many of them will want to go for veg, how many of them uh, will prefer non-veg and veg, non-veg, and then like in drink means what they prefer, like soft drink or means coffee, cappuccino or tea or cold coffee, right? And then in dessert, what they like, right? So I have to understand their taste, right? Or just blindly I will arrange veg for everyone or non-veg for everyone? What do you suggest? To understand their taste, right? So that's why when you're working on any programming language, so the programming language wants to understand that, oh, Tanvi, you are creating a variable like here. You see, like here, I have created a variable. Now in this variable X, you have integer, right? And this variable name, you have something alphabets. It's known as a string. We'll discuss the string in detail. And this in this variable A, you have complex numbers. So they all are of different nature, right? So before starting to write a program, so you have to tell to the interpreter or to the engine that what type of data you're going to store. Okay, what type of data you're going to store, that is very important. You have to tell to the engine. Now the question is that why Tanveer, why it is required, why we should tell to the engine that what type of data I'm going to store, what is the reason? For this case, it is fine because we have to make arrangement for the guest, accordingly veg, non-veg, and the drink and the dessert, right? But in the case of data, why I should tell to the engine that what type of data I'm going to store? Maybe if I'm storing number, if I'm storing decimal, if I'm storing complex number, if I'm storing what else is string ABCD. Why should I tell them? Why is that required? So any thought, guys? Why should I tell to the engine that what type of data I'm going to store? Any idea why? Is my question clear? First of all,
On that,
Sir, because
engine can
engine
decide what
doesn't know.
kind of
one by one, one by one. Please go ahead, one by one. Yeah, who wants to go first? Aradhana. Yeah, Aradhana.
yeah, I was saying that based on that, engine can decide that what kind of operation will be performed. If it's a
Good.
number, then calculations. If
Good.
it's string, then concatenation or manipulation among the strings.
Good. Any other thought?
Sir, because the engine does not know before we tell it what kind of data type it is.
It's fine. That is fine. You will tell to the engine that what is the data type. That is fine. I agree. But why? Why we have to tell to the engine that what is the data type? Suppose if I'm storing A equals 10, right? So why I should tell that the data type of A is integer? If you remember, like when I was teaching you SQL, right? So there I was telling you know that employee ID will be of integer data type, employee name will be of varchar. But why should I tell this to the engine? That is what I'm asking.
Because
Sir, is it because
engine doesn't, because engine doesn't know, right, what does it to capture. If we are giving in the integer value, we can't give string data type. So we are specifically stating that A equal to Sai Kumar, for example, you need to only take string for that data type. So
Okay. Means you are telling you're applying a constraint there, right?
right.
That if it is integer, it should not accept string, alphabets, or complex number. That is what you're telling, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Okay. To a certain extent, that is correct. Any other thought?
So is it memory allocation? Like for a string, it would be, I mean, the number of bytes or something. Would it be
Okay.
that?
Memory. Okay. Any other thought?
To allocate the memory for that, like whatever is defined.
Okay. Good. So that's good. Most of you have given the correct answer. Perfect. You see, data type is a very common concept in any programming language, okay? But the question is, why should I tell data type? Like suppose if I'm standing at airport, okay, and suddenly someone came and he is asking my name. That okay, what is your name? I was thinking, no, but why he's asking my name? Why should I tell him, right? Or do you think blindly I will tell you, yes, my name is Tanvir Khan, right? No. So I will ask that, why do you want my name, gentlemen? Similarly, if I'm telling you that to a variable, you have to tell to the engine that what is the data type, then the question is, why should I tell? The reason is you have to tell so that you can apply a constraint on the domain values that what it can accept. Okay. If you are telling data type as integer, okay, it means suppose I have a variable A. Listen very carefully. If I have a variable A, or maybe let's take its employee ID, and the data type is int. Int means integer. So it means I'm telling to the engine that engine, this employee ID data type is int integer. So please don't accept any other value. If someone is trying to insert 2.5, don't accept. If someone is trying to enter Python, don't accept. If someone is trying to enter Rakesh, don't accept. If someone is trying to insert this value, don't accept. This is the first reason that you are applying a constraint. You are defining a domain values that if it is integer, you're not supposed to accept these values. Like here, if your guest, suppose your guest is Mr. Suresh, okay, and if he has opted for veg, so it means you will serve veg to him. That is a clear cut. That the waiter and the other guys, they know that I have to serve veg to Suresh. So you have you are confining a domain here, right? So many times you will see that when you're filling a form, right, and you will be getting an option like gender, male, female, right? So it means they are telling you that you have to select from this. So similarly, when you are telling the data type, you are creating a boundary that, oh, you can accept only numbers or the integers. That is one reason. Is that clear?
So, Tanvir, are we restricting something like here, like integer?
Yes. You're restricting it, that you should not should, you must not accept any other value. If you have mentioned employee ID as integer, it should not accept any other apart from integer. You are creating a boundary here. Is that clear?
Yes.
So in a simple way, you are telling that there are a set of possible values which your engine can accept for that. Suppose if I'm telling here, okay, sure, how many? I think most of you are from SQL background, right? So if you are writing here employee name and varchar, it means it will accept its strings only, right? So that is the one thing, the set of possible values. Is that clear? Because guys, sometime in the interview, they can ask this kind of basic questions, but they will try to grill you on that. They will ask you, what is data type? And then they will ask you that, why should I tell to the engine that what is the data type of this? So first of all, this point is clear, right? Okay. The second reason is if you are telling the data type of a particular variable, so the interpreter will be ready to understand that how I have to process it, how I have to treat the data of this, what all operations I can perform here, what all operations I cannot perform here. So your compiler or the interpreter or in a layman term, the engine will understand that, oh, if it is integer, I can perform all these operations. I cannot perform all these operations, right? So the first thing is you are considering the possible values, what it can accept. And from that, you're giving an indication to the engine that, oh, you can perform this task. And all those things I will prove one by one. What all I am telling you, I will prove it one by one. Okay. So hope that is clear. Is that clear,
Yes.
guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And of course, the memory part is there because all these things will get stored in the memory. All those things I will prove one by one. Whatever I'm telling you, okay, so don't digest it. I will prove it that how it is happening. Means you should feel, okay? So some of the, one important thing I will tell you. In other programming languages, when you're using a variable, like here, you see, if I have written here, let me comment this. Suppose if I have written here a is equal to 5, print a, running this. The value is 5, right? Now the question here is that, okay, fine, Tanvir, you are creating a variable here, a, and you're storing the value 5, and you have printed it. So nowhere you have mentioned anything about the variable, right? But if you have worked on any other programming language, so there, first of all, you have to tell to the engine that what is the data type. Like if you remember in SQL, when I was creating a table, after that, when I'm assigning columns, so at the same time, I'm assigning the data type, right? Same thing happens in PL SQL, same thing happens in your C programming language or any other programming language, right? But the behavior is different in Python. Python, you don't have to tell to Python that what is the data type of A. Okay. Python dynamically at runtime, it will understand that what will be the data type. This is a very unique feature of Python. It will understand that, oh, what is the data type? Like when I have written A equals 5. So Python has understood that, oh, this is of integer data type. You don't have to mention it. So this is known as dynamic typing. So when you are typing the value, the Python interpreter will understand that what is the data type. If you want me to prove, so for that, you have this, if you write type of A, okay, just write type of A, and I will run this. Okay, I'm not printed that, no, so that I will show you. Print. See, it has mentioned here that this is integer. So your Python is very smart, right? You have not mentioned the data type of it, but Python has understood that, oh, this is of integer. So how is that possible? With the help of this type. So whenever you want to understand the type of any variable, the data what you have stored, you just write type and it will give you the type of it. So this is known as dynamic typing, or in a very simple way, the Python has the capability to find the data type of a variable at the runtime. Okay, so how it does it? Based on the data what you have entered, based on its characteristics and behavior, the Python will understand the value what you have assigned. And if you want to find the data type, just write type here. So it will give you that what is the data type. Like suppose if I have x equals, okay, I will show you that after some time. Is this clear so far? Any question?
Clear, Tanuj.
Clear, Sandesh.
Clear.
Okay, fine.
So
I
every
know
data type will be of class type.
it's just a class. I will tell you after some time, but please ignore
Okay.
this class part. Okay.
Okay.
The class, the objects. When I will teach you OOPS concept, then I will teach you in detail. And that's very interesting. Okay. So now, few of the famous data types we will discuss here. The first one is your
Sir,
yeah.
could you please zoom in this Excel file?
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
How it is now?
It is good, sir.
Now it's better.
Visible. Yes, sir, visible.
Okay, fine. So data types like the very famous is int. It represents integers or whole numbers. We'll go one by one. The first one is int. Okay, let's see a few examples for this. Suppose if I have written here a equals 5, I have written print type a. So I'm telling to engine that please print the data type. Type means data type. So when I executed this, so engine has given the output that the data type is integer. Okay. So I have tested this for a. What suppose I have data 0. Okay. And I want to print type of X. Okay, so let me execute this. Please print the type of X. What is the type? Integer. So even if you have 0, so what is the type of 0? Integer. Okay. So what if we have a negative number? Suppose -5. Let's check for this. -5. Let me comment all these things. This. What is this value? They said it is integer. So hope this is clear.
Yes.
Yes, Tanu.
So either positive number, 0, or negative number, they all comes in integer data type. Okay. Now this is I think this is clear. So now next is float. Okay. Now for float, like the values for float is decimal values. What you know that comes under this float. Let me show you that. Like suppose if I have suppose y equals 2.5. Okay, then print type of y. Now let's check the output of this data type of y and give comma. Okay, now let me check this. See here, data type of y is float because this y value was 2.5. Okay, now tell me one thing. If I will write here y equals minus 2.5, then what will be the data type?
Same float.
Float.
Float only. So see, this is this Python has this intelligence. You're just writing the value, okay, and it will tell you the data type. That's why it is known as dynamic typing. Okay, because at runtime, dynamically your Python will understand based on the characteristics and behavior of what you have written here. No, the Python has that intelligence which will understand that what is the data type and will display you. So this is integer and then float. And then you have the next one is complex. Let's suppose if I will write z equals 3 plus 4j. Okay, j is an imaginary part. That value is root of -1. I think you all know that, right? So if you want a data type of this, I will write print data type of. So to get the data type from Python, we have to write type keyword to give you the data type. Okay. Now check the output. Data type of 1 minute. See, what's the data type of Z? It is complex. It is a complex number 3 plus 4j. So far we have discussed these three data type. First is integer, second is float, third is complex. Hope this is clear. And most of the operations what we will be performing in Python is based on this integer, float, and complex. Hope it is clear, guys.
Yes, Tanvesh.
Yes.
Okay. So let me and you know like this data type class will go for at least 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, and if you understand the data type, one of the important concept, not only from Python perspective, from any programming language perspective, you understand. And one more thing I will tell you, most of the programming language, based on my experience, like C, Java, Unix shell script, and this Python, if you understand one language in a proper way, no, you can correlate that with other languages. Why I'm telling this? Maybe after 5 years or 10 years, you will find the birth of a new language, okay? And that is ruling the market like anything. Then quickly you can switch to that language as well. So that is why if you understand any particular language, the best possible way, if you understand each and everything, it will be easy for you to switch to another language, okay? Now, then we have one more data type, which is known as Boolean. Okay, and this is very common and very famous. So Boolean means true or false. Okay, like suppose if I will write here, if I write here B equals true. Okay, if I'm writing here this B equals true, because Boolean only accepts true or false. Why it only accepts true or false? What is the significance? We'll see all those things. If I'm writing type of B, data type of. Okay. So now let me run this.
So the small p.
Sorry.
So you have given capital P there.
Oh, sorry. Yes, capital P. Sorry. So let me run this. Okay. The data type of B is Boolean. Okay. So this Boolean accepts true or false. Okay. One thing. What if I write this in lowercase? Okay. If I've written this tree in lowercase. So let's check the output. It has thrown error message. Engine is telling that true is not defined. If it is saying that this is not defined, it means engine cannot understand what you have written. So what it means, it is telling that, did you mean true? It means this true is case sensitive. You have to write T in uppercase only. Then engine will give you the output for this. Hope it is clear. You have to be careful with all those things, with all this syntax and the cosmetic stuffs. SQL has never bothered you with all those things, right? But here in Python, you have to be careful. Okay. Hope it is fine. So now then you have false. Okay. Now let me write this. The data type of C. Then write here type. And then let me enter this. Data type of C is class bool. Bool means heads of Boolean data type. So we hope you understood integer, float, complex, and Boolean data type. Is that clear? Okay.
Yes, Tanvir.
Then you have a string. Okay, these all are very common and very important as well. So then you have a string data type. A string means whatever we are writing. Suppose if I write name equals John. Okay. So now I want to find the data type because we have discussed that Python has that dynamic typing that, oh, Python is very smart. The moment I have written name equals John. So based on this character, the behavior, the Python has understood that what is the data type. So let's check it, right? So I'll write a print. I'm telling Python, okay, please tell the data type of name. Oh, let's check. So if you want to find the data type, you just have to write type and the variable name. So let me execute this now. For the next class, I will, maybe from tomorrow, I will take on Jupyter because now you would have understood it, how it works. So type of name is a string. It means this, the data type of the name variable is a string. Okay. So similarly, you can write any other variable and the data type will be a string. So these are some of the common data types. Apart from this, we have list, we have tuple, we have dictionary, we have set. So all those things we will see one by one. Okay. So hope that is clear, guys, so far.
Yes, Tanvir.
Right. Okay. Now then down the line, I will show you that how you can convert one data type into another data type. Okay, and why is that required? And this is a very important activity which you'll be performing if you're working as a data analyst. Like in the current project in which I am working, I'm automating my task using Panda. Okay, so many times it happens, I'm comparing two columns, and one column is of integer data type, another column is of float data type or a string data type. So then you have to convert one into another, right? So then we will discuss that how you can convert it. Okay. Fine. So let me start with that. So far I have discussed only integer, float, complex, Boolean, and string. Then the other data type like list, tuple, dictionary, set, we'll discuss after some time one by one. Okay. Now the question is that, okay, fine. In my table or I have a data which is of a string data type. Like suppose if I have written here this A equals 10. Okay. So what will be the data type of this?
String.
String.
Good string.
String. Data type of A is comma A. Okay. Let's check the what's the data type of A.
Type.
Tanvir, type.
Sorry. I forgot. Type this. Data type of A is string. Okay, this is a string data type. Now see, you have a table. Okay. And those who already know pandas, so intentionally, I'm not talking about data frame. Okay. I'm talking with respect to tables. So please don't think that Wknd is not telling data frame. All those heavy technical words I will not bring now. So suppose you have a table, and in that table you have few columns, and that is present in the staging layer, and you have moved that data into that target layer, like from the source to target, you are moving the data. Okay. And you have to compare whether the data has moved from source to target or not. So suppose, I will tell you one example. I have a table at source, and the table name is employee. And I have a table at target, and we have the same table, suppose employee at target. Suppose, let me give it employee underscore TGT. This is the target, employee underscore SRC. This table is at source. Okay. Now, suppose in this table source, I have a column employee ID. Okay. And then I have employee name. Okay. Here as well, I'll be having employee ID and I'll be having employee name. Now, tell me one thing, guys. Is it necessary that the number of columns which is present in source should be same as the number of columns in target table in any typical ETL project?
Not necessary.
Not necessary.
Any other thought?
Should be same.
Should be same. Okay.
We can take the one which is required in the target, right?
You can take the one which is required of the target. No, I'm telling, like, suppose in the source it is employee ID and employee name. Okay. And target, I have employee ID, employee name. And suppose if I'm telling that in my target I have salary as well. So is that possible, Sunaju?
Yeah, that
No,
is.
sir. No, because I don't have anything on the source, right, to calculate the salary.
We do not have a column salary, etc.
Or I have any column from the source.
See, ideally, if you will check the definition or this question, ideally, it is expected that the number of columns should be same. If you have employee ID, employee name, and so sorry, I'm getting deviated from Python to ETL. I'm sorry for that. So if I have employee ID and employee name in source table, it is not mandatory that in the target you will be having only employee ID and employee name. I will tell you the reason for this. Maybe the source A is sending the employee data. Now I have a source B who is sending me the salary data. Okay. And employee table name is employee source salary. And here I have employee ID and then salary. And both this data I have to load in this target table. So I will load employee ID, employee name, and this salary, no? Correct? And this is a common practice. If you can have multiple sources, but maybe one target. Generally, it happens for each source, one target will be there, but this is not necessary, guys. Don't think that there will be always one-to-one relationship. There can be multiple sources, but one target table. So here you have to be careful because from where I'm coming, I have seen few of the resources, they're writing this query, select a star from employee target, and then they're using minus query, select a star from employee source. Do you think this query will work?
No, sir. No.
Why?
No, sir.
Mismatch of column.
Number of columns are
Number.
different. In target, you have 3 columns, and in source, you have 2 columns. So this will throw error message, right? So now we have faced this, that this was throwing error message. Then that particular resource has raised the defect. Then when we analyzed, we found that, oh, the number of columns are different. Then he told that, no, I know, I have studied that the number of columns must be same between source and target. So nothing like that. It's a misconception. Number of columns may be different. Or suppose sometime you're deriving a new column here. You've got the value of salary increment, and then you are finding the total net salary, the gross salary, percentage increment. You can derive those columns, right? But then the number of columns will be different. Hope it is clear.
Yes.
Right? Now,
Yeah,
actually, I was telling you something different. I slipped to this topic. So what I'm telling here is, suppose I have employee ID and here I have employee ID. Now, this employee ID data type is suppose integer, and this employee data type is suppose is string. So when you will perform the minus operator, now maybe if you are working on Postgres, so you have except keyword. I'm not going into all the details of SQL, otherwise I will slip there. So in this case, if you will apply minus or except keyword, if you are comparing the data, then this will throw error message. Why? Because here the data type is int, here data type is a string. Engine will throw error message. Is this part clear?
Yes, Tanvir.
Yes, sir.
And like this all things like is a big headache. A data type, and sometimes suppose you got a JSON file, and that is again having nested data. And so most of the time, if you're working as a data analyst, you will spend here only cleaning the data and maintaining a common format, the proper format, and all this stuff. Okay. So anyway, this will be a headache. So in this case, what you have to do, either you convert this int into a string or a string into int, anyone. Then when you will write this query, then it will work. So it is known as type conversion. What is known as type conversion. Okay. So in type conversion, what we will do, we will convert a string into integer, or a string into float, or int into float, or int into a string, or vice versa. All those things we will do. Okay. And why we do this, is that clear? That is most important. Why we do type conversion, why we are converting one type to another. Is that clear?
Yes, Tanvir.
Shall I proceed further, guys? Am I making sense to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Tanvir.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect, good. Maybe those who know all those things, maybe you are feeling bored. So I'm very sorry for that. But these things are very important. And I must tell the reason that why this, why that. Then it will become interesting and then you will understand this. Okay. So many times you have to convert a string into integer. Like, let me show you an example. Suppose I have this, let me take some other example. Suppose salary, okay?
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, here you have taken A is equal to 10, and it was showing that data type was string, right? The last program we execute.
Yes.
But in the starting, you have taken X is equal to -5, and for that the data type was, I think, integer, right?
Why?
So why there is a difference? Means X is equal to -5 and A is equal to 10. Then
Okay, good.
so data type should come same, na?
The reason is Ganesh, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Ganesh, here this 10, you see, I have kept this 10 within quotes, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But here all this -5, I have not kept within quotes. So the
Right.
moment if you will keep something within quotes, so the engine will understand that, oh, data type is a string. Is that clear?
No, can you please repeat? last sentence.
If you are keeping something within quotes, like see, this 10 is within quotes.
Okay.
So the data type will be string. Let me run this.
Acha,
One more.
okay. Oh, yeah.
See, what is the data type of A is? str is string. Okay.
Yes,
Now see,
yes.
I will remove this quotes from here. Okay. Now let's check the output. Is integer now?
Right.
Hope it is clear.
Yes, clear. Thank you.
Good question. Good question. Fine. So now we'll discuss about type conversion, that how to convert one data type into another. Okay. Suppose I have a salary variable, and in this I have the value like 150 rupees. Okay. And because of some reason, one very simple example I have shown you that I'm using minus query. And Ganesh, like when I'm teaching about the SQL queries part, I'm very sorry. You can ignore it. Okay, or if you're getting struck, maybe you can connect with me after class, because most of my participants are from SQL background. That's why I'm taking the help of SQL, because when I will correlate that, they can understand that in a better way. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
So now the salary is 150. So what will be the data type of the salary variable?
String.
String.
String. You all know that, right? Okay. Now, because of some reason, I have to convert this into integer. So what I will write here, salary equals, what data type you want? Integer, right? int. Okay. Then in bracket, write the salary. So from this line, you see your Python is very smart. Down the line, I will show you that. And that's the reason, because of its smartness, it is simple and easy to understand. Okay. So when you have written here salary equals int salary, from this, the Python will understand that, oh, user wants me to convert the data type of the salary column to integer. Okay. Now, if you want me to display that, no, then we'll prove it that this has converted the data type to integer. Okay, let's check it. Data type of salary is comma salary. Now let's check. Okay. So here, what is the data type of salary for this line? String. Okay. I have written here int because I'm under the impression that the engine will convert this 150 from a string to integer, right? And here I'm trying to prove that. So if really Python engine has converted it, and then if I will execute this line, then what should be the output?
Integer.
Integer.
Integer. Okay. Integer. Let's check it.
You missed the type.
Yeah. The salary.
Oh, sorry, I'm very sorry. Thanks for that. Run module. Data type of salaries, int, integer. So we have converted from a string to integer. Is this clear?
Tanvir, I just have one question. Hello.
Yeah, hello, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So Tanvir, you mentioned salary 2 times, right, as a variable, so that engine don't get confused which one to pick.
Good question. So perfect. So Jayant is asking that, Tanvir, here you have written salary equals 150, right? And then again, you have written salary here. And here, if you're writing print, data type of salary, type salary. So Tanvir, don't you think the engine will get confused that you are pointing to this salary or to this salary? That is what you're telling?
Yeah.
So here, engine will not get confused. Why? I will tell you. See, if I will write here salary equals 50, okay? And if I will tell engine, that engine, please print the value of salary. Print the value of salary, comma, salary. Okay, let's check the output of this.
Integer.
Value I'm asking. So value of salary is 50?
Yeah.
50? Okay. Now, here what I will do after this, I will write here salary equals 100. Now, if I'm executing the same thing again, please print the value of salary. So which one engine will refer? The value of salary is 50 or 100? Which one?
100.
It will override.
100.
100, the
100.
last one.
Because it will override this. It is like, suppose you have this salary bucket, okay? And here I have this value 50, because if you see this piece of code, so here you have written salary equals 50. So it means in this bucket you are storing 50, right? Correct? So this is clear. But when the interpreter will go to the next line, salary equals 50. So from this, the interpreter will understand that, oh, Tanveer is telling that in this salary variable or the box, he wants to store 100 now. So that's why the 50 will be overridden by this 100. So now when you are telling print the value of salary, so this print is still referring to this only. It will refer to this only. And he will find here the value is 100, and that's why it will display 100 to you. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay, now coming to that type. Okay, first of all, is this part clear?
Yes, Tanvir.
Okay. To that type part, this one. When you have written salary is equal to 150. So this salary equal to 150 has been saved as a string. Now, when you have written salary is equal to int salary. So in this case, what will happen? Let me explain you this as well. Salary equals 150. So engine will understand that, oh, there is a salary variable. In this salary variable, I have 150. And what is the data type? A string, right?
String.
This is of a string data type. Engine will understand. But when you are telling that salary equals int salary, so your Python engine will understand that no, Tanveer is telling to convert the data type. So it will convert it from a string to int.
INT.
Is this clear? Now here in this line, you are telling data type of salary is type salary. Then the engine will go here and it will check what is the data type of salary. Oh, this is integer. So let's display integer from it. So type is integer. So that's why when you are executing it, it will display integer.
Integer.
Is that clear?
Yeah. Thank you.
Good question. Very good. Perfect. So here I have shown you that how you can do type conversion, and this is known as type conversion. You are converting the data type from a string to integer. Now, one very simple example I've told you with the help of this query, but there are many other scenarios. And trust me, based on my experience, when you are handling the heterogeneous data, you always have to, what I can say, do some brainstorming sessions with this type conversion. Okay, this is the one thing. Now, suppose I have shown you for salary string to integer. Now the question is that no, Tanvir, in my case, I want to convert a salary to float. Like suppose, let's take a floating value here. Suppose the what I can tell you. Suppose weight is 65.5. Now, what is the data type of this?
Float.
String.
So,
String.
No,
Still it will be string. Still it will be string.
And data type of weight is comma. Okay. And please, after class, I will share. That's why I'm not deleting all this piece of code. So after class, I will share this with you. Please practice it. Okay. So now let me run this. Check the type. The data type of weight is a string. Is this clear? Okay.
Yes.
So now, so this is the weight. Okay, now what I will do here, now I will write weight equals float. Now, what is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of
String
this?
to float.
Data
Here we are
Converting data.
very good. Here we are telling Python that Python, please convert the data type of weight to float. So now you see I'm executing this. Check the output. And data type is float. Now it's really a magic, right? It has changed from a string to float. So this is known as type conversion. Hope it is clear so far.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, maybe like, okay, fine. We have seen a string to integer, a string to float. Okay. So now, then let's do int to float. Now you guys will tell me how to convert from int to float. Suppose I will write a equals 5. Okay. And I will write a is equal to, okay, we have to write float a. Okay. So now, so I will write print data type of a is. Now tell me, if I will execute this, what will be the output?
It will be integer.
Float.
Float.
5.0.
No.
Because we
Type
don't.
in float.
I think it will be 5.0 and the type will be float.
Float.
What will be the output?
Float.
5.0.
Equal to
Float.
3.
It would be float.
Float.
How you are
Output
telling 5.0? Have I told here to display the value of it?
No.
No.
Only type.
No. Okay,
Right.
let me remove this. Let me delete this. Okay. Now see, 1 minute, hold on. Display the value of A. Now if I'm executing, now let's check the output of this.
Yeah. It will be
This is output
5.0.
0.0. Okay. So from this, I am telling engine to display the value of A. That's why it has displayed 5.0, right? Correct?
Yeah.
But my question is, it was A equals 5 only. Then how engine is displaying 5.0? How?
Because of typecasting.
Converted to
We
float.
have converted the data
Ah,
type into float.
because here we converted this to float. And that's why now it is displayed as 5.0. And now if you want to check the
Type.
data type, so print display the data type. Type is. Now tell me what should be the output?
Float. Fine. Float.
Float. Please check this. The value of A is 5.0.
5.0
The
and
data type is float. So everything is proved here, right? So
Yeah.
that's why you should feel it. Okay, that yes, things are happening. So here we have converted an int into float. Okay, what if you want to convert float into int? Let's take that another example. Suppose I have a float into int. Suppose marks. I scored 65.5. Okay, so okay, 1 minute. Print. Value of marks is okay, which means on this
65.
65.5.
Yeah.
Is this clear? Okay. Now, okay, let me run this. So far clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, I want to convert this float into integer. Okay.
Mhm.
So I will write here marks equals
Integer of
int
marks.
marks. Okay. Now I am telling, first of all, I will tell to display the marks, not data type. Okay. Go step by step. I am telling Python to display the value of the marks. Okay. And it has converted that to integer. Okay. Let's check it. It is 65, right? 65, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, okay, so far, is this clear?
Yes.
Okay. Are you guys getting confused with this float int string, converting float into a string and string into float and vice versa? Is this clear so far?
Clear.
Clear? It's not confusing, right?
No confusion.
I have one question.
Yeah. Tell me. Or
So
1 minute, or 1 minute. Let me complete this part. Okay, just give me 1 minute, okay? And
Yes.
then you can ask.
Sure.
Just a minute. Now I want to see the type of this. Now what will be the data type of new data type? New
Integer.
data type of marks. If I will run this, what will be the output?
integer.
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 It should be integer.
New data type of marks is class integer. So successfully we converted float into integer. So let's revise it quickly. So here I converted a string into integer, right?
Integer.
So what we have done here is string into integer. Okay, then what you have done here? What you have done here?
Weight converted into float.
String to float.
String into
Float.
No.
float. Okay, good. Then this one. What you're
Integer.
doing here?
Integer into float.
Integer to
Integer
float.
into
Float.
float. Good. Then what you are
Float.
doing here?
Float to integer.
Sorry. Float to
Float
Integer.
converted to
One.
integer.
1 minute. Float into
Integer.
Integer.
integer. So far clear. This is not tough, guys. Very simple. I'm trying to keep it very simple because these things will help you a lot when you do the data analysis. So, any question now?
No, Tanvir.
Yeah,
No,
sir,
no.
while converting from float to integer, is it taking floor value or ceiling value, sir? Rounding off to floor or ceiling?
So, it will take floor value. It will not the ceiling value.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
That again, I will teach you what is floor, then floor division, and what is ceiling. Intentionally, I'm not bringing all those technical terms now. One by one, I will show you. Okay, what is
Okay,
all
sir.
those things. Okay.
And we just one small doubt. When we are converting from float to integer, why isn't taking it as like, kind of 66? Why is it rounding off at 65? Is it something like internet it's happening around?
That again, I will tell you when I will teach you that round function and then why it is ignoring that 0.5 and that is a loss of data. All those things I will tell you. Just give me some
Okay.
time.
Okay,
But
thank you.
that's a good catch. That here the value is 65.5. When you converted, this is 65, right? And this we have faced like long back when I was deriving the total asset of my company. That was the task assigned in my project. And because of this conversion, many places where it was 0.5, 0.4, and all those $1 million, the engine has ignored. And finally, when we published the number on the report, the stakeholders were confused that how suddenly that asset has decreased. Okay, so we'll discuss it. Okay, it's a good catch.
Okay, thank you.
Shall I proceed further?
Then I had one doubt.
Hmm.
So suppose we are having any value, like example, a combination of string and the integer, and then we are typecasting into integer. Then I just wanted to check, will it give the value of integer or will it not give the value?
1 minute. Let's take one example. Let's have a value. Suppose salary. Tell me the value. What you want? A string, right?
65K or 65,
Okay,
whatever.
right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, first of all, good use case, and this is alphanumeric one. In SQL, we have seen this example a number of times. First of all, let's start with the basics. First of all, value of salary is $65K. It has printed as it is. Okay.
Yes.
Now, data type of salary is what is this?
String.
String. This part is clear to everyone so far? Okay, fine. Now, you want to convert this in which data type?
Integer, like
Integer. Salary equals int salary. Okay. Now, one more scenario I have missed, so I will explain after this. That slipped from my mind. New value of salary is run this. Check the output. What you understood from this?
the combination is not able to convert into or typecasting into integer. Like whenever
Same
you are
thing.
having value.
Same. Yes. Same thing. I will show you one more example. But first of all, is this clear to everyone? Then I will proceed further. Is this clear?
So one question. So that is it throwing an error because of that K 65K? Is that the reason?
Yes. Because you have both 65 and K. How engine will convert this K into integer? Now see, I will remove this K from here. Okay. Now I'm running this query. Let's check that. Are you getting the output?
Yes. Okay.
Instead of K, I will write here. One minute. I'm writing here king. What will be the output now?
Error.
An error. Yeah.
Check the output. Is this clear?
Yep.
1 minute. I want to show you one more example. Please hold on. Now, this is not exceptional scenario. Please don't think that, oh, this is exceptional. No, it's not like in SQL, the null will throw some exceptional behavior when you will treat that with distinct, with count, with joins, with minus operator, with average. It's not like that, right? Now, the reason here is your engine cannot convert this king, right? That's why. Now, let me show you one more example. Price. It is 65.5. Okay. And what is the data type of this?
String.
String. Okay. Now, if I'm writing here, price equals okay, together. Price equals int price. Now I'm writing here print value of price is price. I'm not talking about data type. Just check the value for this. I'm trying to convert this string. Sorry. Yeah, this is string into integer and check the data type of this. So check the value for this. What happened here? What happened? 1 minute. 1 minute, 1 minute. That's why this proves that it is interpreter 1. What happened here? What is the error message?
Type
It is not able to
type is
convert.
missing. Type word is
Yes.
missing, sir.
No. I'm not asking the type here. I'm just asking the value. I converted this price, which was in a string, or sorry for the shortcut. Sorry. Shortcuts are very dangerous. 1 more. Hold on. Value of prices. I have to stop sharp at 10:30. I have another meeting. So first, let's check the value of this. 65.5. Clear? No doubt? Okay. Data type of prices. Type. Price. Check the data type of this. What is the data type?
String.
That's great. String, right? Okay, good. Now, price equals and price. Okay, good. What do you do here?
You're converting
to integer from string.
Type conversion from
Yes.
string to integer. Okay, good. Let's check this. Print value of, no, sorry. New value of prices. Price. I'm asking engine that please show me the output of this. Oh, it is not displaying me the output. Oh, why? It is telling that there is some issue here. What you understood from this?
Because if we get converted, that's supposed to be in float and not an int.
The value was in float,
not an-
and when it got converted into it, actually it got confused. The value is in float, and you told the data type as int. Like while
But here, when I have done it was executed. No, this is also 65.5. This is a string, but this was converted in float.
but after conversion, the value itself was float. Like, and if that
Good.
was the reason, like it got converted.
Good. Now see, I'm removing this 0.5. Now check the output. You got the value here?
So,
Okay.
sir, if I have to convert that into int, do I have to convert that into first float and then into int?
That's again, I will discuss it, that how you can do, and then how you can save the precision of that. We'll discuss it. Okay. But is this point clear first of all?
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
Yes, sir.
No,
So-
sir. I mean, why did it truncated that decimal and directly displayed 65? I mean, I was thinking that it will display 65. I'm not sure why.
Okay. 1 minute. Sorry, I have confused you guys. It was 65.5, no? This is clear. Suppose I have not done it 65. It was 65.5 only, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct? Okay. I forget that I have written this 65 only. I think by mistake I have done it. Ignore it. Okay. So the price is 65.5. What is the data type?
It's a string.
A string. Okay. If I'm executing this, what is the meaning of this?
Convert this in string value to integer data type.
Convert a string into integer data type. Okay. And then I'm asking engine to display the value of this price. Okay. I'm running this. Let's check the output. Oh, it has thrown error message. The reason is this is a string. You are trying to convert into integer, but this string is having decimal float value, correct? That you cannot convert into integer. That is why it is throwing error message. Is that clear?
But it should have like terminated that decimal value, right? And it should have like displayed from 65.5 to direct 65.
That will happen when this is float originally. If I will execute this, now what is this?
It's a float.
It's a float. Now, if you will convert this to integer, then check the output. Is it converted this?
Yes.
So here, what you are doing, you are converting float into integer. So that will work. But if you are keeping this within quotes, so sorry, this is not float. This is a string which is holding the value of float, and that is why it cannot be done. You cannot convert that to integer. Is that
Okay,
clear?
so intermediary steps are not performed. Directly it will do whatever is being asked. Something like that.
At intermediate steps, I will tell you that how you can do one by one and all those things. That we'll discuss. Okay.
No,
First
I'm
of all, I
saying
want.
that here, I'm saying here it didn't perform any intermediary step. It directly was converting from string as it is.
Right. You are right. Directly, it is converting this string into integer, but this string is holding internally the value which is floating point. That's why you cannot convert it. So net. Okay, I'll just stop another 1 minute. Net. It is not possible. Maybe tomorrow I will show you a few other examples. It's not possible that you can convert one to another, another to another for all the combinations. So we'll see all those things tomorrow. Okay. So I will stop here. I have another meeting. So net guys, humble request. Please revise all these things because I'm trying my level best to give you a very strong foundation of all these things. The data type, why we need data type, how this is useful. Because based on my experience working on this Python automation and from a data analyst perspective, like if you're clear with this now, so it will become very easy for you when you will go to the loop, when you go to the OOPS concept, then you will discuss on all the libraries. Okay. So fine then, guys, I will stop here. And then I will request one thing to have a very healthy discussion in the group. When you're getting stuck, if you have any question, please ask in the group, or maybe you can connect with me and go through this. And tomorrow I will share the assignments based on this, some conceptual questions. Okay. Hope that is fine.
So one question, please. I'm kind of lost over here. So like when you did that Wknd example, right? You had 65.5, that was a string, and then you converted that into a float, right? I mean float weight. So that actually that didn't throw an error, correct? Or did it?
No. Here, this 60. Or do one thing. Hold on. Let's ignore this. I will discuss this again tomorrow. Let's ignore this. Before this, everything is clear.
So Tanvir, can we say the
1 minute. Please ignore that part. I will discuss it again tomorrow. I know that is a little bit confusing, but before that, is this part clear? What all we have discussed so far?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Just last question, guys. Just last question. I have to jump to another call. Yeah, please go ahead. What you're asking? Someone is asking question.
So Tanvir, can we say like constraint are ruling very strictly here, like in the last example which you just
Ignore, please. Please, I'm very sorry. Please ignore the last example. I will discuss it again tomorrow.
Okay, sure.
Okay. I will discuss it again. That's why actually I was not planning to explain that now. Well, what I thought that I will cover all the plain vanilla scenario 1-to-1. Then I will go to the hierarchy 2 conversion. But that is fine. We'll discuss it tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
So fine then, guys. We'll connect tomorrow. And but please, before attending tomorrow's class, please revise all these things. Okay. So thank you. Take care.
Thank you for your time.
Bye.